I'm so glad you could join me today. Today we're going to start our art project for the week. It's going to be a project that focuses on the colors of the color wheel, the warm and cool colors. When we talk about warm colors, we're talking about red, orange, and yellow. They're typically the colors that, when we look at them, they make us think of warm things like summertime or maybe even a campfire. We're also going to be looking at cool colors. Cool colors would be green, blue, and violet or purple. They're typically colors that make us feel cool, like jumping into a blue swimming pool or maybe holding a slippery green frog or maybe even green grass. So these are our cool colors. To start our project, we actually don't need crayons or markers quite yet. That'll be on the second part. But for today, you will need a piece of paper, a pencil, and again, a straight edge. If you have a ruler, you can use a ruler. If not, just like last week, we can use the straight edge of something like a book or anything that's straight around your hand. The first thing that we're going to do to make our project this week, we're going to do a little bit of tracing of our hand. I'm going to put my hand right in the center of the paper, and I want my fingers to be spread apart. Don't put them close together, or we might not know it's a hand if we trace it. So put those fingers spread apart. Using the hand that I draw and write with, I'm going to put my pencil along the edge, and I'm going to very slowly and carefully trace around my fingers and my hand. Now that I've traced around my fingers and my hand, my next step can be to go ahead and trace. I might use a black crayon or a black marker. I'm going to use a black crayon to do this. The reason I did it first in pencil and not straight away with the black crayon is because if I made a mistake, of course I can go back and I can fix it. I have like a little bump on my finger here. I can go back and fix that if I want. If I did that in crayon first, I wouldn't have been able to make that correction. So I'm going to go over top of this line. Next, I'm going to use my straight edge, just like we practiced using a straight edge last week. Again, if you have a book, you can use that, or if you have a ruler, you can use that as well. I'm going to use my straight edge, and I have a little bit of space there at the top. I'm going to say it's about 2 fingers or maybe a marker width. And I'm going to, again, very lightly use those whisper lines in case I need to make a mistake or make an eraser. Draw a line across. Going to move it down just a little, about the same amount, and draw a line across. I'm going to move it down. And here you can see, now I have my fingers showing up. And because we traced them in black, they're going to stick out. We do not want our line to go through our fingers, so I trace, stop, there's a finger. Trace, stop, there's a finger. Trace the rest. Move it down. Trace, stop, there's a finger. Trace, stop, there's a finger. Trace, stop, there's a finger. And I'm going to continue doing that down to the rest of the page. There you can see I drew my lines the whole way down. Every single time I came to a finger, I made sure that I stopped. If you accidentally did something, you can always go back and erase it, but you do want to try to not go over it. The next thing that we're going to do, we're going to make this have a cool optical illusion effect to it. When we see our fingers and where those lines are, I'm instead going to make a curved rainbow connecting both sides. Curved rainbow connecting both sides. Curved rainbow connecting each side. I'm going to do that for each time that I see a line. I connect both sides with a rainbow line. Now for these sides, there's going to be a huge jump for these parts. So I'm going to start down here. I'm going to make a huge jump, still making those rainbow lines. And for some of them, that's why we want to make sure we're doing it lightly, because some of those are really far of a jump for us to do. And that I hit there, and I hit there. And I'm just going to continue. Those ones are a little bit more difficult to do because it's such a long rainbow. Again, if you're using those whisper lines, if you make a mistake, you can always erase it. So make sure you're drawing lightly. The last step at this point is then just to trace over top of those lines. If you traced over all of your lines, that's all you have to do for today. Good job. See ya.